So on this particular slide, you see different words on this slide. You see questions, you see answers. And in this day and age and what we're dealing with and everything that's going on, we're going to be asked a lot of questions and we're going to be expected to give answers. And sometimes those answers are not going to come as easy as they've come when we're sitting in the office. So we're going to have to make sure that we take time to get the right answer to the questions that we may have. The next thing you'll see here is we have to be helpful. There's friendly on there, reliable. So you can't just, we can be helpful in a not so good way, but in this season, we want to make sure that we are helpful in a good way. Be friendly, be reliable. Another word on there is care. We have to show people that we really do care. And that's one thing I can say about our association. Our association care for us so much that they're offering all of these different things for us to make sure and ensure that we're doing the things that we need to do and be able to do it better. Okay, satisfaction on there, reward. We may not physically get rewarded for the things that we're doing, but we're still yet getting a paycheck. We still have a job.
Yeah.
We're still able to do different things. So, but you can take the satisfaction of knowing that you're doing something to help someone else. That is more than a reward. But we got to also have quality support. Quality support. So we have to support one another. But we're going to talk about all of that. But there's one word on this slide that I want to stick out, and that is it's about the smallest word on here, together. It's right there above the V in virtual. Together. We're in this thing together. We're all dealing with this. We're all going through it. We're all, trying to figure out how we're going to make it through this pandemic. Okay. What are we talking about today? You've seen this description. It was on the AFC website. During these unprecedented times, most of us are working remotely. However, the need for great customer service skills are still paramount. Any organization or business knows that competition is fierce, and the challenge to attract, recruit, educate, and ultimately graduate our students, no matter how long it takes. It took me 19 years to get my AA degree off and on. I wasn't in school all those 19 years, but hey, I finally got it done. But that still remains our primary focus. How we interact, engage our students is key. This presentation will focus on the following: knowing your business, knowing your school, knowing your organization, remaining dedicated to your mission and your vision, understanding what is meant by remote perfect customer service, keeping track of your daily progress, and meeting the service needs of your students by giving your best during this particular pandemic. We all know that our school and our organizations, they all have mission and vision statements. Our association also have a mission and a vision statement. So that's one thing, and the first thing that we're going to talk about today is what is the mission statement of the Association of Florida Colleges? I want to tie this in because before I did this, I asked the question, what was the mission statement of a particular school? But since we're doing this on the state level, I want to know how much have you learned about the Association of Florida Colleges over the time that you've been a member? So who knows what is the mission statement of the Association of Florida Colleges? And I don't want Marsha or Eileen to answer that question because I know they know the mission, but who else know what is the mission of our association? It is quiet in here.
Well, Greg, they're muted, so they can present. So they can type it into the chat function.
Okay.
They're muted.
I'll talk to myself then. Thank you, ma'am. I know what it is. The mission of the association is to actively promote, represent, and support members and institutions as they provide their students and the citizens of Florida with a world-class college system. And we all know this because we are a part of this. And that is why a lot of us are a part of the association, because of what it does, not only for the 28 colleges, but for our communities. Oh, the community service is second to none. I've never seen another association or organization that cares so much about the community. Now, we're also doing this presentation for the Career and Professional Employees Commission. So what is the purpose of the CPEC Commission? The purpose of the commission is to promote professional growth and exchange among the career and professional employees in the Florida college system. The CPEC, the Career Professional Employees Commission, strives to improve and encourage statewide communication among career and professional employees, receive career and professional employees' input in other commissions' activities in areas in which career and professional personnel are employed by attending meetings and reporting back to the commission. We provide workshops. That's what we're doing today. Serve as a forum for discussions, receive full support of the career and professional employees in all 28 of our great colleges, and encourage the establishment of procedures at each college to ensure adequate representation of career and professional employees' interests in the administrative decision-making process. That is the purpose of this commission. So we're just not out here, willy-dilly doing nothing. But we want to talk today mainly about what is perfect remote customer service. And since I'm talking to myself, ain't no need me answering myself. Okay, so I will carry on. Remote customer service. In the world that we are living in right now, and what we're dealing with right now, we're in crisis mode. As businesses, we've been forced to work remotely. It might be the first time that many of us have had to work from home, which can bring its own sets of challenges. As well, it brings its own set of advantages. Okay, so let's talk about some of the challenges that it may present. A lot of us, we're adjusting to working 8 hours a day from our dining room table if we don't have a desk at the house, on the couch or in a corner, away from everybody else. Some of us are sharing now our space with our significant other. Some of us have not even seen our significant other at work before. So now you're getting to see how great of a person that you've married, and they're in return getting to see how much you are so passionate and why you're so passionate about what you do, because they get to see it firsthand. So we also have to deal and be able to adjust with time. We have our children here, they're working from home. We have to be the teacher. We have to be the administration. We have to make sure we do everything. We're learning how to manage our time. But that's the thing about working remotely. However, Pennsylvania State University said that employees who work remotely are more productive and have a better work-life balance compared to those who do not. While 56% of businesses believe that remote working improves productivity. Wow. So I understand why they say that, because now I have more time to get work done. Now I have more time to actually work on projects. When we're sitting in our offices, people coming in, people going out, people coming in, people going out. So we are constantly stopping what we're doing to help someone coming in office. But since we're working remotely, now we have a little more time to get things done. So today we're going to talk about 7 ways to manage a remote customer service team. And this is not just for people who are supervisors, but this is even for us who are not supervisors, so we can know what to do, how to do. This information that I'm about to give you, did not come up with it myself, so I have to give credit to Mr. Stephen McDonald, 7 ways to manage a remote customer service team. I got this information from him, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is using cloud-based project management tools. The second thing is share information through a knowledge base. Be clear about who the audience is. You have to unite your team. Make use of video chat. We're doing that right now. Use customer service solutions. And the last one is set KPIs to help your team grow. Using cloud-based project management tools. I know at TCC, we have a certain place that we can go to find out whatever information we need for our division, for our area. And that's one of these cloud-based management tools. Emails are good. It's good for us to send emails here, there, everywhere. But what if I need something that I cannot get someone else on the other end of an email to be able to give me. That's where cloud-based project management tools come in. So you have a place, we have what we call the shared drive at TCC. And then in the shared drive, I can go there and I can pull any information I may need to help a student, to help someone in the community, to help a coworker. So we have somewhere where we can go. I know a lot of people are using Teams right now. That is one of those different things. You have, Google Drive and iCloud. You have all these different cloud-based things where you can gather all the material so that you'll be able to help one another. The next thing we have to know, share knowledge-based information. There is no I in team. We have to be willing to share the information that we have with someone else. And anyone who's been a part of the association knows that's one thing that we do a lot. We always tell you, use the people that you know. That's networking. That's what networking is all about, getting to know somebody else. That way, if you have a question and someone at your college may not be able to answer that question, but you know someone at another college that you can reach out to, we have to realize that we're a team. We're all in this together. We're all working towards the same goals, and that is to get students in, to train them up, and to get them graduated. But then also we have to look at ourselves, because we have to make sure that what we learn, someone else is going to need it. So if I've been on a job for 6 years and I have a new employee coming in that's working in my area, I have the knowledge base of how the department or the area should work. So I shouldn't mind helping someone who just started to get started the right way. We have to share what we know. According to the American Express Customer Service Barometer, 99% of customers say that getting a satisfactory response or talking to someone knowledgeable is essential for a great customer experience. It is essential if you have a knowledge base, but don't just hold it and be selfish. Share it with somebody else. Be clear who the audience is. Understanding your audience is the key to your success. Question may be asked, who is our audience? Well, our audience is our students, our faculty, staff, administration, our community. Our association is our audience. We have to realize that once we realize who our audience is, it'll make our job much easier. I know it's hard sometimes to understand what a student is going through, what's going on, but once we realize who they are and what they are, this slide says good customer service is about your ability to quickly solve problems, fulfill requests, and build an understanding between your business and your customers. To do this successfully, your remote customer service team needs to understand who they are talking to on the other end of the phone, the other end of an email, or social media channel. So we have to know all of that information to be successful, to be a good customer service team. Even working remotely, we have to know this, because when we answer the phone, we really don't know who's on the other end. But we have to understand, listen to what they're asking for first, then we can offer a solution. So all of us have to go through some type of training. But before you train your team, think about these following questions here. Who are the customers? We just said students, faculty, staff, administration, and our community. What are their values? Well, our student value will be totally different than the administration value, because the administration is going to think that their value is real high, but our students' value is still just as high, because they are the reason why we work at the college. They're the reason why we're at the university. That's the reason why we are doing what we're doing. Do they need a quick answer or a carefully considered in-depth reply? Now, that's an interesting point there, because we sometimes want to always give a quick answer just to get somebody off the phone, just to stop them from emailing us, just to stop everything from going on. But sometimes it's going to take us to actually stop, focus, concentrate on what it is that this person wants so that we can give them the right answer so they don't have to come back to us again, asking us the same thing over and over again. Does your order span multiple countries, languages, and cultures? Yes, it does. I know at our school, our international student population is pretty good size. So we have to be willing to learn new languages. I don't know much Spanish, but I can say hello, and that's about it. But we have to be willing to take the time to get to know our audience, get to know our students, get to know our team members. Unite your team. Now, before I go into this, I want us to look at this picture on here. There are 4 words on this picture. The first word is unity. We have to be unified. We have to talk the same talk, walk the same walk. I mean, drink the same Kool-Aid. Y'all heard that before in this association. We have to be so tight-knit that if someone come ask me a question and they go ask Sharon a question, they're getting the same answer. We have to be unified. And that's the same way it is on our campuses. You should not be giving one answer on one end of campus and another answer on the other end of campus. Togetherness is another word on there. We have to be together. Together. We have to be together. And that speaks for itself. Teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. We've heard that time and time again. Together, everyone achieves more. When we work together as a team, you don't have to worry about recognition. Don't worry about if someone else gets a lead role and you just a supporting actor. Guess what? When the group succeeds, we all succeed. Strength. There's strength in numbers. And that's one thing we've learned in our association is there is strength in numbers. We can make things change if we come together. It's going to take unity, togetherness, and teamwork to get to the strength that we need. Golden State says when they're in the playoffs, there's strength in numbers. I'm a sports guy, so y'all knew that was coming sooner or later. But we got to be together. We got to be unified. We got to have teamwork. Then we can have some strength. So unite your team. Managing a remote customer service team comes with a new set of challenges. And while it might seem that you don't really need to get to know someone who lives on the other side of town or who works on the other side of campus or who are in a totally different division than you are, someone you might only meet once in your life or once in a year. You know, at the big welcome back events that y'all have on campuses, you might meet somebody one time because they're on a different campus than you are. But you still need to take the time to get to know that person because you never know when you're going to need to rely on that person. Research by Queen's University of Charlotte found that 39% of surveyed employees believe that people in their own organization don't collaborate enough, and only 27% of employees receive communication training. We got to take the time to talk to somebody. Be like me. I love to talk. And anybody from TCC and just about anybody in AFC will let you know. I don't mind talking. I love to talk. But I want to make sure that what I'm talking is meaningful, not just gibberish coming out of my mouth. By getting to know your team members, you will have better communication and increased staff retention rates. To unite your team, encourage small talk between your staff and allow them to get to know one another, such as getting to know their interests, their family, you know, the area that they come from, their background. You know, it ain't always got to be about you. Think about somebody else. Do something good for somebody else. Learn about someone else. Don't always be the one giving out your information, but how about getting it from somebody else? And there are different ways that you can do that, like, you know, through Teams, through Skype, through Google Hangout, all those different things. We have so many ways now that we can do. And I know later today, we're going to have a good, I think it's around about 6 o'clock this evening. There's going to be a Cinco de Mayo thing going on the AFC is doing. Get on there and learn something about somebody else, okay? Make use of video chat. I don't have to talk about this too long because we're doing that right now. There are so many different ways that we can use video chat. What we're doing now, webinars. But I've even heard that different people are doing like dance parties, dance groups, you know, DJs coming on, having a good time. It don't always have to be business. And in this season, we have to realize that we're going to have to take time to enjoy ourselves. Even in the midst of being shut in, you know, shelter in place and all of this, you still have a life to live. Enjoy life. You can use different kind of video chats. You have GoToMeet, WebEx, Skype, you know, Cisco, all of these different things that is out there. A lot of it is free. Just get on there and chat with your friends, chat with the people who you normally talk to. You know, just have a good time chatting with somebody so you can see their face. Now this slide, now this is where I'm gonna stay at for a little while because this is using customer service solutions. Let's look at this picture. The 6 pillars of customer service. The first thing is attitude. We have to have the right attitude in this business that we're in. When you're talking about customer service, attitude is everything. Your attitude will determine whether someone comes back to patronize your business. Your attitude will determine whether a student want to continue going to school at your college. Your attitude will determine whether the community wants to be involved with your association. Your attitude speaks volumes. The next thing is interest. You have to show that you are interested in other people, interested in what they're going through, interested in what they're asking you about, interested in everything. Because guess what? When we want someone to do something for us, we want them to be interested in that. We want them to show some kind of concern about what we're asking them about. Okay, the next thing is action. You got to show some action. Put some action behind your words. We can say stuff all day, but if there's no action behind it, you're just merely saying words. Put the work in to make sure that you're doing something for somebody else. Verbal language, and I'm going to tie verbal language and tone of voice in together, y'all. Verbal language, if you're talking all down and out, people don't want to hear it. So if I'm doing this presentation like this, verbal language. So, you know, I just ready to get this over with, you know, but what you need, I don't know, okay? But if I'm talking with some intensity behind my voice and I'm talking about what, you'll be more apt to listen to me talking like this than me talking like this. But you got to make sure that your language is one. I can tell whether you want to deal with me by the way you answer the phone. If I answer the phone the wrong way, I know I'm not going to get what I need from you. But if you have the right tone of voice and the right verbal language, everything will be all right. Your body language. When you're face to face, people can see your body language. But guess what? Even when you're answering an email, even when you're on the phone, I can tell whether you have good body language over the phone. So if you're smiling and you're answering the phone, I know you're enjoying what you're doing. But if you was all laid, you know, slouched down in the chair and laid all back, you really don't care. And I really don't know whether you're going to give me what I need. So we have to use customer service solutions. All right. Customer service teams deal with a lot of clients on a daily basis. And these conversations can be a challenge to keep track of. And I'm not going to go too deep into keeping track because our next slide, next section is talking about keeping track of what it is that we do on a daily basis. There are plenty of different softwares that you can use to monitor all this. But hey, one thing that we have to do, and this is just being a good customer service person, is we have to know and keep track of the number of incoming requests that we have, the number of issues we've resolved, hours worked by each staff member, high priority issues in need of addressing. And see, that's the thing. We got to know how to prioritize this stuff. If it's something that needs my immediate attention, then I need to take care of that right now. I should be able to put something else on hold to take care of these high priority issues. So, for instance, if Dr. Murdoch, my president, sends an email to my dean and say, hey, I need Greg to work on this, I don't care what the dean has me working on at that point. What the president has set down is a higher priority than what my dean is giving me. And my dean will have to understand that, hey, I'm working on something for the president right now. But guess what? As soon as I finish that, I'm going to go right back to taking care of the things that I need to get done for my dean. You know, tasks assigned to the team leader and the manager. So we got to know how to track everything. And we're going to talk, like I said, a little more about tracking what we're doing, because even working remotely, I'll go ahead and throw this in right now. Even working remotely, we're still getting evaluated. We still have evaluations. We still have all these different things that we have goals that we need to meet. So we have to make sure that we are doing, just because you're working remotely don't mean it's time to slack off. You still have a job to do. And they're going to take me right into this next point here. Set KPIs, key performance indicators. Key performance indicators to help your team grow. Okay? We have to set those goals for each other. All right? So, what are those? It may be easy to forget the goals of your remote team members, but it's important to remember that they have career paths as well. And see, that's mainly for our managers. You know, my supervisors tell me all the time, Greg, I want you to know everything I want you to, that I know, because I want you to be able to move up. I don't want you to stay as a staff assistant too. And guess what? I don't want to stay there either, because my mind is higher than that. And I know what I'm called to do is higher than just what I'm doing. But I know what goals I have to meet. I have to set my goals every year, and I have to achieve those goals. The good part about it, I get to set my goals. I get to say what I want to do. Then I submit that to my supervisor. So I know what I put out and set out for myself to do. But one thing I want you to know, you may not have been asked for it right now, but I'm asking you, keep a list of your goals, and keep a list and keep track of everything you're doing, because it may not have been asked for yet, but you never know when it will come up that it's going to be needed. Okay? Keeping track of goals and your daily plans. There are different things that we go through with our daily lives, but we have to keep track of it. Find something that you can use to keep track of everything that you're doing. Use a calendar. Use your phone. Use your tablet. This thing right here that we have on the screen says, achieving your goals with a simple routine. Keep your routine. We have routines on how we work everything out at work. So keep that routine. The things that you used to work on first at work, keep that same routine. The things that you did in the middle of the day, you still can do that. The things that you did at the end of the day, you can still do that. Stay motivated with charts and reminders. I never thought I would be the type of guy that would need to have everything on the calendar that pops up a reminder to let me know what I need to do. But oh, am I happy that I have that on my phone, because I'll forget that I have something else to do on that day. You know, it also tells you to build good habits. We got to have good habits. We can find any negative habit, the way to do stuff the wrong way, but let's do stuff the right way, okay? So, the last thing, meet the service needs of our students. We're working in a college system where the college system is trying to educate our children, educate the youth of this era. They're not the same that we were when we were coming up. But this quote said, we must meet our students exactly where they are, with exactly the brain they have right now. We must use all the tools we have available to us and not expect them to fit into a mold or all behave exactly the same. We don't know what the students are going through when they came to our college, but guess what? We have to meet them where they are. We have to still offer them a quality education. We still have to offer them the respect that they deserve. Regardless of how they treat us, we still have a responsibility to treat them right. Do people like you want to be treated, not like they treat you. And that ain't just with, school and work, but in life. Treat people the way you want them to treat you. You were never told to treat people like they treat you, because everybody wasn't raised like you were raised. Everybody wasn't brought up like you was brought up. All right, Miss Sharon, that is it. We got any questions?
Okay. Questions for Greg, you all? Greg, that was an excellent presentation. Great information, really good reminders for all of us, I think. Yes, the PowerPoint, this session has been recorded. The PowerPoint and the recording will be posted on the AFC page, homepage in the webinar box. So if you click back in, you'll be able to go directly. Eileen has linked it here in the chat for you. So you'll be able to get a copy, receive a copy of the PowerPoint, and be able to click on the recording and rewatch it and or share it with your colleagues. Greg, I think it's so important as we wait for any questions or comments. Oh, okay, Abby.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Greg.
Hey.
All right, good. That means y'all can hear. So here's my question, or maybe it's more of a, I need some tips. So I'll get some phone calls because right now I'm a little bit understaffed. I had some people decide they needed to take leave of absence during this time. So that is a challenge that we've been working on. So if I'm working with a student, I miss a call a lot of times because I don't have no second person to pick it up. So how can I encourage individuals to leave a message so I can call them back? Because with our calls forwarded, obviously I can't see the number and they can't see mine. So I don't know who to call back.
That's a great question. I would say, even with everything the way it is now, add that into your signature line on your emails. So even though you see that someone has called in, when you email them back, if you don't have a chance to call them back, even if you send them an email, just put down there, hey, if you call and we don't answer, please leave a message or please call me back. I'm helping someone else. Or we can even put that on our voicemail. If I don't answer, please give me a call back, or send me an email so that we can make sure that we are taking care of your issue.
I'm going to go in and update my voicemail and see if that helps. Because I'm going, well, I missed a person, and then I'll go online and see if I can find them, because it's probably someone that reached out to me via one of our other means and try to go from there. But it's been challenging to get them to leave a message or a callback number or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I'm going to try that. Thank you.
Okay. Greg, a lot of folks felt you did a really good job of this presentation, my friend. Lots of kudos to you for your enthusiasm and for
Awesome.
pushing through the technical issues at the beginning. What I was going to say, again, as we wait for any additional questions, speak a little bit more about how important communicating with your team is, the importance of sharing information, because I think that was such a really good and important point of everything that you discussed.
Communicating is the main thing, especially in this season that we're in, because if one person on the team don't know what to do, then the whole team can be messed up. That's why communication is key. It's just like being married. For the ones of us that are married, if you don't have communication, you're not going to have a good marriage. Hello, next Tuesday will be 13 years I've been married. So, hey, kudos. But communication is one of those things that that's not just in marriage, it's just not in education, but just in life. We have to communicate with everyone. And like I said earlier, when you have knowledge of something, you cannot be afraid to share it. A lot of people think, okay, this person is going to get credit for something that I told them how to do. But guess what? I don't mind them getting credit, because guess what? I know I gave them the information that they use. So that lets me know the information that I'm passing on is good information.
Right.
Whether they say, well, Greg gave me that information or not, as long as I know I gave it to them, it's okay. I'll let them get the credit. I'll let them get all the accolades and everything. But just me knowing that I've done something to help somebody else, that should be all that matters.
Right. And that's important, Greg. Certainly everybody wants to be recognized for what they do. We all want to feel appreciated for what we do. So we're not taking that away from anybody, but certainly sometimes, Avi is saying they eventually let it slip and they tell on themselves. You're absolutely right, Avi. They always do. Something else you said I really liked, and then I'll go to a question here. You talked about kind of keeping track and writing down. I think it's so important that people write down what they've done. There's nothing that keeps you from keeping track of your accomplishments, the things that you do, the things that you create, because at some point in your career, in your life, whether it's professionally or personally, you want to have a record. Sometimes it's nice just to go back and look at that list and say, hey, I did that. And it boosts your self-esteem. It can boost you and give you that extra jolt that sometimes I think we miss out on, waiting on other people to give us that pat on the shoulder, waiting on other people to say, great job. You are your best advocate. You know what your skills and talents and the blessings you've been bestowed with. And so by keeping track of those things and being able to go back and look at them, that's how you, in a sense, say, job well done, me, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating you.
Absolutely. And I've found out, I don't brag on myself enough, believe it or not. I've been told I did not receive some jobs because I didn't brag on myself. But, just because people know what you do, sometimes we do have to actually still brag on ourselves a little bit. We got to talk about us. And I've been told that I've been looked over for some jobs because people know what I do, but I just didn't say it. Oh, yeah, sometimes we got to brag on ourselves.
So very true. Okay, so Heather D. had a question. Heather?
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Dietzold. I'm from Northwest Florida State College. Greg, thank you so much. You are a dynamic presenter, and that's not an easy accomplishment over a Zoom meeting.
It's the preacher in me.
Your energy is fabulous. My question is, one of the kind of tenets of customer service that I always have followed is managing the customer's expectations. And so in a time where things are so uncertain and there's so many kind of unknowns, do you have any suggestions, and even to anyone in the meeting, of how you guys have been managing the expectations of students when we don't really have all the answers?
My main thing is what I've been doing is just being realistic with them. I understand most students' expectations is, I want you to work a miracle for me. And I want it right now. But I've learned to be realistic, and I tell them, hey, I would do my best to help you as much as I can. There's a possibility that your request may not happen. But guess what? I'm going to try. I'm going to put in an effort, and I'm going to follow up. And I'm going to get back with that student or that parent or whoever it is, just to let them know, hey, I'm still working on it. Because like I said, some stuff you can answer real quick, and some stuff is going to take time. You got to do some research. You got to go through other people. So expectations from students and other people from the outside is always going to be high, because they're going to want you to work it out for them. I mean, grades went in yesterday for us, and I got a couple of phone calls yesterday about, hey, I made a D. Are there any exceptions? I said, no, the state still require you to make a C in this class. Unfortunately, you're going to have to take that class over this summer. I mean, but yeah, just be realistic, be yourself, be true to yourself as well as to the person on the other end.
Great advice. I got up, y'all, because we were talking about kind of jotting things down, and Greg mentioned bragging on yourself. So just a short story. That's one of the things that I hate to do, is tell people what I can do and all these kinds of things. And so one of my mentors sent this book to me, and I hope y'all can see. It says, Brag, The Art of Tooting Your Own Horn Without Blowing It. And it's by Peggy Kloss. It is a great book, and it changed my life, because it basically gave me permission to say, I can do that. And it didn't before, in my mind, by talking about all the things I could do, I was taught as a little girl, you just don't brag on yourself. You let other people do that. And this book was so helpful to me, because it reminded me that you're not bragging on yourself. You're telling the truth about yourself. So anyway, since I'm at home, I thought I'd grab the book and show it to y'all, just in case anybody else has that problem that I still struggle with it, but I pick this little book up sometimes and flip through it, and it's a good reminder.
Marsha, what I have found out, especially dealing with AFC, because I'm gonna tell you who I've heard that from. I heard it from you, and I've heard it from Tracy and some of the past state presidents. And now when we come into our different conferences and webinars and whatever, send a note to your supervisor, thanking them for the support and letting them know what you learned, what went on at those presentations, and that way they will have a listing of what you did, and plus you will have a listing of what you did.
That's right. That's a great one. That's a really good reminder. Oh, thank you, Eileen. Other questions or anything else anybody would like to add? It is exactly 12 o'clock. Bertha is saying she doesn't think the problem is not praising yourself. The problem is with the recognition from administrators. Sometimes I think, Bertha, that may be true, depending upon the culture at your institution. And I think that's why Greg's point was so valid, that, we can't always expect for others to, quote unquote, give us that recognition. Sometimes you have to take the pride in knowing that you did whatever it was. I think that's the beauty of AFC, if I can take a point of privilege here. I think AFC does it better than any other organization. We know how to recognize our people. We give you your flowers. We say thank you. We want to showcase your talents and what you've been able to do and accomplish. And so sometimes for many people, they've gotten involved with AFC because they weren't able to get that recognition or acknowledgement at their colleges, and they have been able to get it via AFC. So I think, utilizing all avenues, whether it's at the college itself or via AFC, your church, your community, finding ways to have that, whatever it is you feel you're missing, finding ways through other organizations, or even sometimes, you know, your AFC chapter, your church. I've often said many of us are leaders. We may not be in a leadership position at our institution, but if you have a conversation with the person, you find out all this great information about the things they've done and the things they can do. Again, I think that's the beauty of AFC. We're able to find that out. A lot of times in our jobs at the college, I used to work at a college, so I know this, people see you in that position and they only see what you do in that position. And they don't necessarily see the fullness of who you are as a person. And so I would just say, keep finding avenues to showcase your best self, both at work and beyond. Greg, anything you want to add to that before we close it out? Okay. Did one of the kids come in?
Yeah. No, that's about it for me. I've been going away. I've been out of sight for long enough, I guess. So that was the baby. Wanted to make sure I was all right.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Greg, let us thank you. This was a great session. We appreciate you, Sharon. We appreciate the Career and Professional Employees Commission. You all, we invite you, if you are not engaged with CPEC, to join them, to get involved. Sharon gave her contact information. If you want more information, if you're interested in being more involved in joining this particular commission, we invite you to do so. Thank you, everybody. We will be back at 2 o'clock this afternoon for the Administration Commission has a session. We are going to have a presenter from Santa Fe College talking about how they have moved all of their advising online. So we expect that that's going to be another great session. You all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again, and hopefully we'll be seeing your faces soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.